Hey everyone, this is Daniel from PV Prep, and today I'll be going over factoring quadratic trinomials. Let's begin. So I have here some examples of four possible scenarios that you may find yourself in when factoring quadratic trinomials. We have a plus and a plus, we have a plus and a minus, we have a minus and a plus, and we have a minus and a minus. Now, for all four of these examples, we'll be using the same method with some variations in between. We'll be using the magic X method for factoring. So let's begin with number one. Now, assuming that our expression is in standard form, the first step is to draw an X. Then we're going to have the number in the second term, which is this 7, and put it on the top. And the number for in the third term, which is the 12, and put it on the bottom. Next, we're going to set up our factored form by having two sets of parentheses with an x in each. So we have an x, and make sure to leave a space. We'll get to that later. And then x. So we have two sets of parentheses. Next is the fun part. We were going to find two numbers that when added together give us the top number, in this case, a 7, and when multiplied together give us the bottom number, which is 12. So what two numbers when added give you 7, and when multiplied give you 12? The two numbers here are positive 3 and positive 4. Now, after you found your values, we're going to take them and put them into each one of these parentheses. So on the left, we're going to have x plus 3. And on the right, we're going to have x plus 4. And that's how you factor a quadratic trinomial with two pluses. Moving on to number 2, we have x squared plus 8x minus 9, so a plus and a minus. Again, like number 1, we're going to start off the same way, drawing the magic x. We're going to put an 8 on the top, and we're going to put a negative 9 on the bottom. Now, like number 1, we're going to figure out two numbers that when added give us 8, and when multiplied give us negative 9. And those two numbers are positive 9 and negative 1. So like number 1, we're going to set up our factored form by having two sets of parentheses with x's. Make sure to leave blanks like so. And then we're going to take each one of these values, the positive 9 and the minus 1, and put it into a set of parentheses. So we have x plus 9 and x minus 1. Not too bad. Pretty straightforward. Moving on to number 3, we have x squared minus 5x plus 6. So it's a minus plus. So just like the other two problems, we're going to start off by drawing our x, and putting the middle value on top. So that's the negative 5. And the third value on the bottom. So that's a 6. And let's also set up our factored form. Make sure to leave spaces. Then we have to find our two numbers. In this case, the two numbers are negative 2 and negative 3. And then we're going to plug in these values into each of the parentheses. So that gives us x minus 2 and x minus 3. Moving on to number 4, we have x squared minus x minus 20. So that is a minus minus. Just like the other three problems, we're going to draw our x, putting the middle term, right here we have an invisible negative 1, so right there, and then the 20 on the bottom, and negative 20 on the bottom. And while we're at it, we're going to set up our factored expression, making sure to leave a space in the parentheses. Then we have to find our two numbers. In this case, it is a negative 5 and a positive 4. And just like the other problems, we're going to take each of these values and putting them into each one of the parentheses. So on the left, we have x minus 5, and on the right, we will have x plus 4. And one more thing, if you would like to check to see if you did indeed factor correctly, we can just multiply the two expressions using the FOIL method. So what that means is I'm going to take this first x on the left and multiply it to this first x on the right, giving me x squared. Then I'm going to take this x and multiply it to the 4, giving me plus 4x. And I'm going to do the same with the negative 5. So negative 5 times x, that gives me negative 5x, and negative 5 times positive 4, giving me negative 20. So when I combine like terms, I end up with x squared plus negative 1x, or x squared minus x minus 20. And as we see here, the expression that we are left with once you multiplied and checked is the same as what we started with. So that's how you perform a check step. And there we have it. That is a brief introduction to factoring quadratic trinomials. I'm Daniel, and this is PV Prep. Thank you for watching.